Good morning. Good Monday morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It's Jodi 𝔼𝕗𝕚 here. I am speaking to you from sort of sunny Rochester, New York. The sun was out earlier, and I think it's going to come back. So how are you? What's going on where you are? Where are you in the world? Let me know. Post a comment. Give me some likes. Give me some hearts. So I know you're there. You're listening to this live coaching session. So every Monday at 11 a.m. I'm here. I usually have a little bit of a topic, just like one tip or two. And then just to give you some time to type in your questions, because this is the time that you get to ask me your questions. And this is kind of weird because you don't get to actually talk to me and really explain. You have to type it up. That's why I am starting an actual group where we could do this with longer time, a smaller group of people where we could really go deep into what's going on personally for you. So I've been working on this for a very, very long time. I've been promising it forever, and it's finally ready to go. Today is the first day I'm announcing it. It's called Raise Your Vibrations Group. So jodiamen.com/vibe. jodiamen.com/vibe. You could go, and it's a very small monthly fee. And there's going to be a lot of value in it though. So you'll have a few calls a month with me, and then you will have a guided meditation and a creative prompt every week. So there's a lot, and then communication with the group members. So it's going to be really, really awesome. Finally, I have something for everyone who follows me who can't afford to work with me one-on-one and want some more access. Want some like real access to me to be able to really use my brain, my power to help you personally in your life. So today we're going to really be talking about how to make decisions. And so I'm just going to be sharing a little tip here on how you can make better decisions in a conscious way. I think so many times our fear gets in our way of our decision-making process because we sometimes our options seem a bit overwhelming because we don't trust ourselves, and we get worried that we're going to pick the wrong one. And we worry that once we pick, we're going to be stuck in that choice. And so we don't want to get trapped in there, so we avoid making decisions. But you have to remember, if you don't make a decision, you're making the decision to stay where you are, to not decide. And not consciously necessarily, but because it's not conscious, you don't have control over it, and you still feel really out of control over not making the decision. So it's pretty... it's not 100. It's not what you want, right? It's not 100% what you want. Hi, Stanley. Good morning. So you really want to take back control, because anytime you feel out of control, it's going to increase your feelings of anxiety. It's going to increase your feelings of stress, and that's going to affect you mind, body, and soul. Labaz, hi. My maiden name is Labazo, so Labaz feels like me, like you're me talking to me. So hi, Jasmine. So so we want to avoid all that stressful decision making that brings on our feelings of out of control, and we want to get really conscious about it and feel empowered. I mean, decision making is actually an empowered thing that we have. This is actually a really cool thing that we feel like we do have control over. But sometimes our negative voice in our head fools us into thinking that we'll be trapped in one option, or that we're not going to make it right. We're going to make the wrong one and feel worse. So hi, Luca. So that's what we want to bring into our consciousness name. We want to bring into our consciousness. So when you're faced with a decision, be clear that it's a decision. We have choices all the time. We don't really think of them as choices. And so we don't get to get the benefit of feeling like we have control over our lives. We're just making the decisions. But sometimes there's big decisions. So we're going to talk about how to consciously make big decisions. And if you make, if you have a big decision coming up, whether you have to do something or not, I keep reading the comments. I'm sorry, I get distracted. But if you get a paper and a pen, so when you're making a big decision, I always go old school and write down the decision. It like gets it out of your head in some tangible form so that you can focus. The other thing that I would do is I always take some time, like I schedule some time and space, because sometimes you really just need some space. We don't have space. We're going from one thing to the other, one thing to the other. Thanks for the heart. So you go from one thing to the other and we don't give ourselves space. So we're in survival mode as we're making decisions. Sometimes the decisions are not about our survival. It's just about what we might prefer, right? So they're not even about survival, but because we're in that energy all the time of survival, then we think of this decision as much more meaningful than it is. So you want to schedule out some space and time to make your decision. That's why I get the paper out, because it's like a consciously, okay, this is the time I'm going to open to my inner wisdom to understand what can be helpful to know about going forward and making this decision. All right. So, and it's a way of decluttering your mind. So taking that space out is a way of decluttering your mind so that you have this space to make this decision. Because the declutter brings that fear on, because your mind is like, all this clutter, I got to survive it. I got to clear it. I got to figure it out. And that does not help when you're doing a decision-making process. Paper and pen. Write down your options. There might be more than two, but write down all the options. And I want us to really get clear on what the options are. Sometimes they're pretty evasive, or they're pretty similar, or some of them we think they have meaning, but once we write it down, they don't really have meaning to us, so it's clear right away. But I want you to write down all of the options, even options that you wouldn't consider. Write them down, because this has you seeing your empowerment, and that's always what is important for us in our lives, to feel in control and feel good about ourselves. So once you have your options of the decision written down, I want you to try them on as if you're trying on clothes in your closet. So this is using your intuition. I think we all have intuition. We all have a consciousness and an inner wisdom, a sensitivity. And you could grow and develop that sensitivity. That's why I teach people how to develop their intuition. And that's, in my program, I have a group on that. But in the Raise Your Vibrations group that I was talking about, in that Raise Your Vibrations group, we are going to be working on that, connecting with that inner trust. So don't worry about that. It's just that you don't get as intense of a program as if you did take my intuition program. But so if you have any questions, start typing them. I'll get to you in a minute. But when you have all your options written down, then you want to try them on. And so I would invite you to close your eyes and imagine the first option. And imagine your life in that first option. What does it feel like in your body to be in that, as you're noticing the consequences of going along that path? So just you imagine that. You probably don't have time to do that now, but you could keep this video for when you have to make a decision and review it so that you can look at that. Look at what you could do this process. So you look at the first option. You do the same thing with the second option. You want to feel what it feels like, feel all the consequences, feel how it's affecting your relationships, and really see how that feels, as if you're trying on clothes. And what does that feel like? And then maybe there's a third option, a fourth option, and so on. You want to try them all on and really feel what that is like for you. And what's important is to think about the consequences, like what's all going to happen. When I'm working with people one-on-one, I'm always having them try on what if like when they decide on making a change and they're committing to that change, I have them imagine and look at what it's going to be like in the future once they go forward with that commitment, because that really sustains it, doesn't it? And this is the last thing I want to tell you, and please type questions because I'm going to get to the questions after this, and it could be about this or about anything. But when what you really want to know about decision making is that you're not trapped in one way. It's not over. Most of our decisions, when we make a decision, we have freedom actually. So the word decide the meaning is to kill. DEC is to kill, right? So we're killing the one option. And in that committing to, we're killing the other options and picking one. And in that picking of the one, you make that decision your decision. I always thought when I was little, I was always really scared about this, making a decision, because what if I regretted it? What if I regretted what I lost? And then I realized that you choose something. Actually, I think I had a teacher help me with this, but you choose something and you make that your choice. Like you still have empowerment to make it your choice. And usually, always, almost always, I can't think of an example when you don't, you have the power to switch again. It might not come exactly like it was the first time if there's an opportunity, but it'll come, something else will come again. Like we're hardly ever really trapped. Even when we're literally trapped, like if you're stopped in traffic, we still have control over what we do in that car. Like we could listen to a podcast, we could call somebody, we could create something in our head, we could think of something, we could, all kinds of things, like reminisce. If you have someone in the car, you could play a game. I mean, there's so many different things you could do within there. Like the traffic can't control your sovereign power. So we always think that we're trapped, but really we have so many different options within that one lane that we're in, that we could change lanes. We could create the lane as we want it to be. We put our energy in it. If we make one decision and are constantly in regret and thinking, what if I did it wrong? And we have all this doubt, then we're not going to really be present with that option and go forward. So if you do this conscious decision-making process that I just explained, you will go forward and totally, sorry, I keep hitting the table, my camera moves. You'll go forward and so ready to really embrace and enjoy the fruits of that option. All right, let's see what we have here in the comments here. So Lucas said, I've been watching your videos, wish you were in the UK. You wish I was in the UK? I have a lot of clients in the UK actually and talk to them all the time. I'd love to sometime when the world opens up to do some retreats there, but I do work with people in the UK. And also, unfortunately, my Raise Your Vibration group's going to be late at night, the live sessions, but so I wasn't really considerate of people in the UK for that Raise Your Vibration group. You're obviously welcome to join. You might have to stay up a little bit late. Jasmine's been watching my videos. Thank you. Okay, Luca. So fear, self-obsession, self-awareness of fear, paranoid, everyone is looking at me, focus on me, everyone knows I'm uncomfortable and on edge. Bloody joke, all of this. Yeah, probably nobody's looking at you. Probably no one's even aware of what you're going through and experiencing. Probably you look totally normal to them because they're inside their own head worrying about their own insecurities. So you probably don't have to, you probably could really let go. What I like to do when people are thinking that everyone's judging them is observe, because everyone who's a bit anxious or something, all of them have really good skills in noticing. And if you have some really good skills in noticing, then if you have a really good skills in noticing, then you can watch other people and watch them. If you're like in a mall or something, you're watching people, they're all in their own heads. You start to really realize when you get out of your head and worry about people watching you, start watching other people, and you could see they're not even in the present. They're all like in their own heads. You could actually see that by looking at them. And that gives you a huge relief for yourself in your own life and how to deal with that, or how to stop worrying about what everyone else thinks, because they're not thinking about you. Yeah, you think about the center stage, lights are on you. It feels like that to all of us. And that is actually the operations of modern power. So I talk about that a lot in my programs. So if anybody's interested in joining my Raise Your Vibration group, it's going to be like, it's going to be like hot seat. So Tuesday nights, we're going to get together and do a live session, but it's private. It'll be on Zoom, so it's only you. You could see me, you could talk to me, you could tell me what's going on, we could fix it. And you'll get a guided healing meditation each week, and you're going to get you're also going to get a creativity prompt, because creativity is really how the divine comes through us, but it also has such neurological benefits, the creativity. So it's like with creativity, we're really connecting our mind, body, and our soul in some really fantastic ways. So I wanted to make that part of this group. So I'm really excited. Also, there'll be like a group, a group like texting place that we could connect between. So this is the first time I've done a group like this, because there's so many people around the world who really would love to work with me, but they can't afford to work with me privately. So I made it absolutely affordable for whoever wants to come in and really spend some time with me live and get some more goodness to help them really up level in their life, whatever they're going through. So you could read the page, go to jodiamen.com/vibe, and you could go, I'm going to type it in here. And so you could go to that page. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be here next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I will see you there.